Welcome to part 2 of I Have Something to Say, and I'm gonna leave this here. Just as I had expected, people within my family right long, and now I can tell that there wasn't much appreciation for what I said in my last video that I had posted on here. If you are new here and stopping by, please pause, please stop. Revert back to the last video that I had placed on this channel before you can actually proceed with this video. If you are new here also and have not subscribed yet, what's taking you so long? What's taking you so long? Now, on the other hand, if you are familiar on here, let's get it! Excuse the background, by the way. I'm currently trying to get my truck worked on, looked at. That's because, let's just say that it's having a few problems. It's a perfectly running truck, but let's just say that Sister Cat over there is having a few wingers. Before I begin with any of this, let me be very, very, very clear. If you are going to be on this channel, just like I had said a few videos down, if you are going to be on here, this platform is no different from my Facebook, my Instagram, my Snap, TikTok, whichever platform you follow me on. Do not be on this mug trying to be a messenger and trying to be messy, going back to my mom and dad about stuff when they view the same thing as you just did. I'm not gonna lie, but the sugar honey iced tea really pisses me off, and I'm trying to figure out what do the most of y'all grown folks get up out of that. It's like I said before, in a lot of y'all's minds, I feel like a lot of y'all view me as the same size and age as my daughter. But you got the game all freaking mixed up, and you got me all the way effed up. Like I said before, and I'm not going to take back anything that I said. My mom and dad can see this too. As a matter of fact, I even had a talk with them, and I said, you know what, I'm going to need for y'all to pull a different image towards how people always feel so comfortable just coming to y'all with information. There's got to be something about y'all, I feel like, the reason as to why people do that in the first place. Because I'll never start to make people feel like that's okay the moment that she gets of age, and she probably starts to do the same thing, whether she wants to go into content creating or not. The story that I had just shared with y'all in the last episode, it kept on being brought up by different people who was involved in that situation. So I wasn't the only one that was affected within the last 17 years by that situation. First of all, that was embarrassing. And I honestly feel like people are so busy feeling offended about how I came about this situation. I mean, are you embarrassed about the fact that it was brought to the forefront on a platform like YouTube? Or is it the simple fact that y'all know that we could have came together with a family meeting, but everything keeps on being pushed off? And there's a big procrastination game when it comes to a whole thing that's called family meeting. We have so many people that rather draw back from every family event there is, and every time that there's a group chat, there are some people that rather not be in them. And sometimes I'm one of those people. I'll probably barely have anything to say to them. That's because it's just a weird feeling, guys, when you keep on coming around the same multitude of people, but there's a weird way that you feel about that person. But I'm sitting up here, and I'd rather be bold as to like what happened and actually share what happened that affect me in such a big way, rather than keep on staying away. Just the way that I decided to be open about what happened some years back, I'm willing to go forward now onto moving forward into the actual time that my family had moved here, and me starting off actually getting to know most of my cousins, because I didn't really grow up around most of them. So I was actually happy for the time being, even though a big part of me really did not want to come to Tennessee. I was really just trying to make the best of it, the best way that I possibly could. And so me bonding with my cousins was one of the ways that I wanted to surpass time. I'm going to be coming clean about quite a bit of things. And it's not to discourage anybody. And I'm going to keep on saying that throughout all the segments, however many that I decide to do. But I just feel like this is important, y'all, because I'm getting tired of all of us having hidden feelings, and y'all will tell each other how you feel about somebody else, but it ain't a thing that they can do to fix whatever is wrong with you in between whatever. In all due respect, this is my platform, and whatever I choose to post on any of my social media sites, whatever the case may be, that is my own prerogative. I choose to post what I want to post. I don't need nobody sitting up here being a cyberbully. You want to sit up here and pick and choose some of the things that you want to randomly have a problem with. And of course, you can most definitely come to me, but adding my parents onto it just ain't finna do nothing but make situations worse. That's because what you going to them for? And just as I felt what happened, of course, there was an unsubscriber up in the room. And I'm just going ahead and letting y'all know right now, even though it is my plans to pretty much grow my fan base, but if you are going to be displeased, of course, and feel like you may disrupt the room a little bit over here, you can real live hit that unsubscribe button. I'm real live okay, and anybody at this point to do that. That's because you're not finna stop nothing over here, and nobody is finna get me to shut up for nothing.
A lot of y'all content not taking off because, or it's not creating impact because you're not being yourself. We want to see your hair balled up like this. All that, set the phone up, walk 50 feet back, come back and pick the camera up. We want to see you just like this with your moo on. And sometimes, y'all don't want to hear it, but sometimes it's okay. You have to tell a little bit of your business. Definitely if you are on a divine assignment with God, you're going to have to tell that testimony, baby. We want to see those edges crawled up. We want to see the back of your head matted up a little bit. It just is what it is. That's the real transparency. That's what TikTok likes to see. We want to see that moo-moo. You and that moo-moo. Period. Straight up. This is why your content not blowing up. Because you keep showing us everything that's not authentic.
Did y'all not hear what she said? And that ain't only like what TikTok want to see. That's what YouTube want to see too, or anywhere else. October 2019, when I had came here, I remember having this mindset, okay, I'm going to get on my feet. That's because I have no plans to stay here. I just want to see my brother take his place in life. I had, at the time, he was a senior in high school, and I wanted to see him march. Little did I know that we was going to be hit with the pandemic. Little did I also know that I was going to be staying around here for way much longer than what I even said that I was going to. And that kind of disappointed me. Well, to an extent, I more so bought this on myself. That's because I had got involved with a guy. This is a guy that I was talking to before I had met Taraya's father. I don't exactly want to share what happened, but just know that it definitely did not work out. And now that I think about it, the duration of the time that I was talking to this fellow, I had a young cousin who was staying with me and my family at the time. I had bought her down somewhere, I want to say mid-July-ish. Just say that chapter most definitely had its fun times, and it most definitely had its lows. Starting off from the time that I had went to get her, I had my sister and another cousin who had helped me drive there just to come and get her. I gotta say that was a bit of a jump for me. I felt like I was on a rescue team. But if I must admit, as I think about it, I know for a fact that I had pressed the gas a bit too fast, and I had jumped gun without thinking first. Looking back on it all now, if I honestly would have went with my very instincts the moment that I had read the body language of my cousin, I would have respected that someone was not quite ready to move on with this new life that we had talked about previously. You know, it's one thing to actually talk about something, but it's another thing to do the legs to what you are talking about. So when someone tells me that they are in a rut of something and they are ready to get out of it, do not tell a person like myself that. That's because if anyone else around me can tell you my pull-up game is strong and any form or fashion of a way that I can get to you, that's just what I'm gonna do. So yes, I would have just a rewind of everything. If I would have, like I said before, followed my very instinct, I would have took it for what it was and made it a visit instead of a pickup. I didn't come on here to swear up and down that this very person that I speak of is a bad individual. However, I do believe that I should have went about things way differently. Some things of my life and certain other shenanigans, I feel like I should have kept away from this individual and some other people who I had decided to. And if I must say, the shenanigans that I speak of did involve, smoking tree, getting a little lit with some brown or white liquor and all that type of other thing, wine or maybe some beer or something. Anyway, around all of that, loud music, where, we're dancing, we're laughing, somebody's cracking up about something, or it's a roast session somewhere, but, either way, it's a good tell time. But the way that I feel like this individual and the rest of my cousins who were involved in, the he say and she say, was really the thing that had threw me off. So what I'm really trying to say is, if I had decided to come to your house, what happened at your house or inside of my car or someone else's car or whatever being that we had decided to get around with, whoever we decided to partake in these activities with, did not need to make it back to my mama and my daddy. They did not need to make it back to y'all's parents. And quite honestly, that's why I felt like for a moment there, I felt like I was partaking in party shenanigans around a bunch of kids, grown kids. That's what I meant by, it seems like from the time that me and my family had came down here, it's almost like there was an excitement from some people. And from the other half, it's like, ooh, let me see what these jokers is really like. Let me press a few buttons and get into their business a little bit, just so I can talk about them. Just all because of, due to the fact that my parents, I guess, within me and my siblings' absence, there was never anything rambunctious said about us. So I don't know if there was some added on jealousy or envy somewhere, but there is definitely a stick of butter that was every bit of sour when it came to dealing with some of my cousins. And this thing about my brother that was going around, it seems to die down at one point and then it blows back up. And, it's a confusing thing to me. That's because some people in the family has even gotten so bold as to calling me and directly asking me information on my brother as far as what his dating preference is. Get with me here, y'all know what I'm talking about. While me and one sibling would partake in one shenanigan, it's like my brother was an outcast of something else. And far as I know, I don't know anything as far as what supposedly happened with my brother or what has been spreaded about my brother. Y'all, I do not know. And that is the honest to God truth. It gets on my nerves. That's because even though, yes, me and my brother are every bit of close, but some things I just choose not to engage in. And I can actually respect somebody's boundaries, not to really be all in other folks' business. So I said all that to say, some of y'all need to worry about your own kids. Keep your mouth off my brother. Keep your mouth off myself. I don't really know all the ins and outs of what y'all even have to say about the other ones, but seriously, this thing is way out of control. What I thought would be a life-changing thing by bringing my little cousin down here, it ended up turning into something that I I just really don't even want to even turn back to. And quite honestly, I don't really too much care to share every single thing that has happened within the time frame that she was down here. That is literally a whole script of a whole nother story time that I am choosing not to tell. Was I hurt when this cousin had to be sent back on her way home? Yes, I was. And I'm not going to lie, y'all. I had to cry about that one. That's because I was like, man, mission failed. I'm just hoping that, you know, we at least mend from here one day. We eventually did, only to fall out again. But I'm going to only come back with that within a whole nother segment. But anyway, I to this day, I miss her. I miss her to heart. And it's like, I hate that I just really hate the space that we are even in right now. But like I said, that's for a whole nother segment. So now all this right here happened within the first year of me being back in Tennessee. So I'm like, so I wonder, is this a big sign that I really did not need to be here in the first place? But I'm going to stick around. That's because another interest came about after this cousin had went back home, and after me and a guy did not make it. I end up basically unintentionally getting with someone else. Well, I wouldn't really say like in the first year, but it was more so like within the beginning years of me being in this place. Because October 2019 is when I had moved to Jackson. And then it was sometime after the new year had came in. Yeah, I did begin to like someone. And I think maybe like a good 6 or 7 months down the road, I had ended up coming to get cuz. So this was definitely 2020. And I think that by the time that my cousin had left, it was in the middle of 2020 and 2021. The fact that this person had really chose to fight me rather than tell the truth is beyond in such a way that I can't explain. That's how wild I am about that situation. There's a whole lot more that I could say and really would, and I feel like I should say, as far as the person that I am talking to you all about right now. But do I miss the times that we had together? Yes, I do. And so, as far as any hard feelings, I don't have those towards anyone, and not anyone that I have mentioned so far within any of these videos. So that's my real reasoning for doing this. That's because, quite honestly, when I be done got past one part, y'all don't know how much, little by little, how much of a brick is being taken off of my chest and my whole shoulder area just by me coming out with how I feel towards a lot of situations that has happened up this way that has brought me to a devastating surprise. Man, it ain't no worse feeling than sitting up here in a city where you feel like you almost about can't get along with nobody in your family. Me and this older cousin still talk to this day. It's just that I feel like, to an extent, I I about feel like she done got a bit too bougie for me or something. As if, like, I'm not good enough to hang around anymore. I mean, there was a time where I had heard from this person almost on a regular basis, and it just seems like anything that I possibly want to do as far as an outing, it's not really to that person's interest. I mean, I don't know. It's almost like this person has had a complete life change, and they just don't have time for a little person, wildcat like myself anymore. I was appointed to bring the activities or something like that, and you twisted it into saying the reason why one of our uncles really picked you for that is because, you know, you seem a bit kiddish. I'm not gonna lie, but there's different types of ways that I took that, and I feel like you really twisted that into really saying that you think that I'm really a big ass kid. I also find it odd that one time when I was about to fix myself a plate, I was waiting in line. I had just got to the family function good enough. I had got there with my brother, a cousin, and whoever else was riding along with us. We had all got in the line and was preparing to dig in, basically, and fix our plates. Please tell me why one of my uncles decides to come over there where we are standing at and basically pushes us, talking about some move. And I'm like, I wonder had I have been anybody else, would he have done that? But why in the world did he charge at me and everybody else behind me this way? Even my own sister realized, said, what in the HE hockey sticks? Next thing I know, all of us had walked the freak off. One of me and my cousins had realized, dropped our plates and went to go and smoke a black. That's because we looking like, what the heck did we do to deserve that? Basically. So when I go and tell this to this same cousin, this same big cousin that I got into the scruffy wuffy with or whatever I just got through telling y'all about. Same one said the same thing about when I was appointed for those activities for the family reunion and stuff, saying the same thing. Maybe if you weren't seen around all those kids, he wouldn't have done you like that, and he would have more respect for you as an adult. And I'm sitting up here like, what does that have to do with anything? Older people should have respect for younger people just the way that an adult or anybody older than me would want respect from somebody else. That junk goes both freaking ways. So that wasn't all right. And this uncle to this day never even said that I'm sorry for that. I was just tripping that day. Maybe I had got side myself and I apologize. But no, it wasn't none of that. But I still have no hard feelings though. I'm gonna pump the brakes right here, and I'm going to actually show a cousin this before I post this whole video. So in between sometime tonight and tomorrow, when I get finished editing this video, I'm going to show this to one of my cousins before I post it. I'm going to get her input on how she feels about this whole thing, what I'm talking about, and go ahead and post it. But until then, I'll see y'all later.